Lingelbach Elementary is a wonderful place. Children can be heard playing and laughing. We work really hard in developing partnerships that bring in so many opportunities for our children. And so we're filled with people who care about children. Our kindergarten students here participate in something called Forest Days. We have been selected as a school to receive a grant that actually comes in, and every week they take our kindergartners out into, we have a wooded area in back, but then there's also the Wissahickon across the street, and they take students out there. They have these little really cool blue jumpers, and they go out and they really just do lots of observation about the environment, about changes. They note changes from season to season, and they're able to really write down and journal about what they're seeing and what changes are occurring.
Some people said they erased something in their book, and I said, why did you erase it? Oh, I messed it up. When we make a mistake, remember, what does a mistake do? Makes your brains grow, makes your brains smarter. We don't worry about mistakes, right? Mistakes help us learn.
I've always wanted to be a teacher from a young child. I would play school, dolls would be my students, and so teaching is something that I always wanted to do. I went to college, went into education and began teaching, and it was where I think I found a love for children and a passion for helping them to just be the best that they can be.
The thing that made me become a teacher was my mother. My mother was a minister, and I used to work with her at church with little children, and she said to me one day, Alicia, you're going to be a teacher. And because I was a good daughter and I listened, I went to school to basically become a teacher. So she saw something in me as far as, you know, the love of children and love of teaching, and I wasn't convinced. I wanted to go to school to do other things, but it worked out that I went to school to become a teacher, and I do. I love it. It's just something that comes natural to me, working with children and teaching children. A kindergarten teacher is it takes a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy. I don't think people understand how difficult teaching kindergarten is, because, you know, you have all these children, they're 5 and 6. They have so much energy, and you need to be patient with them. It's hard work. The plus side is that you see the child when they come into kindergarten, and they may not know their letters or their sounds or how to write their name, and by the end of the year they're actually reading books.
So approximately 10 years ago, Children's Literacy Initiative, which is a grant-based program, it's not really a program, it's a way of teaching, was introduced to Philadelphia, and the teachers in kindergarten, first, second, and third were given opportunities to collaborate, to learn other ways of teaching reading, with the emphasis being that reading is the most critical piece. We actually transformed our classrooms into a whole group space, small group spaces, rich, vibrant libraries in each classroom, leveled readers for all our children, reading throughout the day. And I was a model classroom teacher 6 years ago, those 3 years, and then moved into sort of my role as a literacy leader. But I found a great difference between the way I taught first grade prior to that and the way I taught first grade after I worked with CLI, Children's Literacy Initiative.
When I came to Lingelbach, we have wonderful space, however, underused in the sense that it was designed to be a library and just not really being used as a library at that point. But a parent approached me, Leah Hood, and said that she had been so interested in really working to revive that space to make it a functional library.
So because we're a volunteer library, we really rely on the leadership buy-in of our teachers and our principal. This project wouldn't happen unless we had support from both Principal Waddell And our literacy lead here has been a real supporter of the library, and the teachers, the classroom teachers, because they're taking time away from their instruction time to bring their classes up to the library. I think that as we've learned and worked out some of the operations, how this goes, it's kind of unanimous that this space is an amazing asset to our building. There's a lot of people in this part of the city that are really committed to community. I think that conversation shifts a little bit when you talk about public school, because all of a sudden now it's your kid versus kind of this general sense of community. And we were really challenged by that. How do we continue to be intentionally good neighbors if we're not actually willing to consider investing in this really important community institution? Public schools, the way that they're currently set up, are really kind of the nexus of a lot of things that are happening in the neighborhood. They're the place where there's diversity, there's the place where you can, you spend so much time with people in the community, and ideally the way that they're supposed to work is that you're doing that with your neighbors. And I think having experienced that as a parent, I understand more fully what it means to be part of a neighborhood school.
My name is Ashley Gilliam. My daughter is in first grade at Lingelbach. Her name is Ariana Gilliam. I decided to bring Ariana to Lingelbach because I went here for my 8th grade year, and I know that this is one of the best schools in the area for her to go to. I did very well academically in this school, so I know that it would have been a perfect fit for her. The strong points that I see are that the teachers and the principal and the counselors are very involved with the children. It's a very small school, so everybody is connected. Everybody knows everybody.
When I came to Lingelbach, I was in a position of really making some decisions about where the school moves instructionally. And when I came here, we didn't have a teacher leader, and we did not have our literacy lead that we have today. And where I really saw the need was for teachers to have someone to provide them with ongoing professional development.
So a school-based teacher leader does a lot of different things throughout a day. Most of what I try to do is be as much of a support as I can be to both teachers and students. So really, I'm supposed to be supporting teachers to help us do what we do better and find those things that we haven't quite figured out yet to keep pushing our kids to more successful places. At the same time though, I have to be a teacher, so I need to be in there with kids as much as I can possibly be. When I go into a classroom, it is either to just see what's happening so I can see where we might need to make a few adjustments or where I can be supportive. And sometimes it's because a teacher said, I'm really struggling with how to get my students to understand something in particular. Please come see what you can help me figure out. Other times it's just to be in there, see what they're doing, sit with kids and work with them on whatever it is they're working on, and sit with this one and sit with that one and sit with that one, and spend a few minutes with several different children, and then later on talk with the teacher about some things that I noticed that I thought were really great and some ways we can improve a few little things here and there.
Here at Lingelbach, your children are well supported between the support that they receive from their classroom teachers, as well as our school counselor, our school nurse. And so Lingelbach is a place for all families in our community to consider as a wonderful opportunity to bring your children where they will engage and interact with children from all over the area and community in a safe learning environment that meets their academic and social needs.